So today I'm going to talk to you about this, which is the Gameboy Micro. Now, a bit of history. Nintendo's first handheld console that they reached the masses was obviously the Game Boy. Then they had the Game Boy Advanced. Then the Game Boy Color, then the Game Boy Advanced, then the DS, and then more recently the 3DS. Like I say, this is a Game Boy Micro, which you may notice isn't on that list, and that's because this is just a version of the Game Boy Advanced. It's actually the third version they released. They released the standard Game Boy Advance. I think that was also, came in a couple of different versions, like the Game Boy Advance Lite. But then that was followed by the Game Boy something, which was a clamshell device, and then this was the final iteration, which was the Game Boy Micro. So I'm just going to quickly show you what features this phone has. There's the standard 4-way D-pad, 2 buttons and 2 shoulder buttons, an accessory port which is mostly used for charging, a start and select buttons, a power button, headphone socket, volume and brightness control rocker, and obviously this being a Game Boy, it obviously has a cartridge. So this is a cartridge. It's a standard Game Boy Advance cartridge. Previous versions of the Game Boy Advance could take standard Game Boy and Game Boy Color cartridges, but this version can only take Game Boy Advance cartridges, I believe, although I could be wrong. So like I say, this is the Nintendo Game Boy Micro. So I'm talking to you about this phone not because it's new, because it blatantly isn't. It's about 8 years old. It was released around the same time as the Nintendo DS, and because of that was a commercial failure, selling in very small numbers. But I think it's a great console, so I want to and I still use it, so I want to tell you where I still use it. So the first thing I want to say is I have played other handheld consoles before, ever since the Sega Game Gear, which was awful. But this is the only one I've gone back to again and again, mostly because of its size. This is pretty much the only handheld console which is truly pocketable. It's about the same size as a smallish candy bar shaped phone. And just for example, this is my digital camera, and as you can see, it's smaller than a great modern digital camera, and is like I say, very pocketable, which I think is perfect for travel. And that's the primary thing I think for in a handheld console. It needs to be very handheld. If it's too big to carry easily, you may as well readily get home and play on a proper full-size console like the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. I've never seen the point of sitting on your sofa playing a handheld console, well, as a big TV 3 feet away from you. But that's just me. And also, the advantage it has over more modern smartphones is just the fact it's got physical controls, so you can control it and not cover the screen, and also having physical controls allows a lot more precision and more in-depth gaming. But saying that, it's not fully in-depth gaming. Having only 2 buttons and 2 shoulder buttons means all the games are quite accessible, which again is something important in a handheld gaming device, because quite often my gaming, at least on this, tends to be quite sporadic. For example, I might play a game and then only a year or so later go back to it. So just having the simple controls means I can pick up those games quite quickly and easily. I also think this, although being quite old, doesn't feel as being too old. It's got a small screen, which is basically the only thing that gives it away. It's got a good, very good battery life. It's, like I say, very small. Feels very good quality. Loads up quite fast, as you can probably see. And because of this fact it's got a small screen, the reduced resolution isn't that evident, because, although you can't see it very well, the pixels are so small on this small screen that it actually looks like it's great high resolution games. Although I don't think it is particularly high resolution. I don't know what the resolution is, but sorry for that. So yeah, I think it's a perfect compromise between size and level of features. It's got the physical buttons. It doesn't have a big screen, but it won't be handy otherwise. And yeah, I think it's a very fun to play. So I paid about £70 for this when about 7 years ago, which and like I say, I still use it today, so I think it was a very good investment.